Welcome to the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. If you're eager to gain clarity, speak with unwavering confidence, and liberate those inner voices, you're in the perfect spot. My mission here is to empower you to break free, find fulfillment, and ignite your passion. You ready? It's time to say it out loud. I've put together a guide of my top 10 tested and proven to work practical strategies and habits to help bright women like you say no, set your boundaries right, live confidently, and build healthy relationships, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. This is a self-paced guide, and I can't wait for you to dig into it so you can start becoming your most confident self, because she's in there waiting for you. Head to the link in my show notes or go to vasavikumar.com/guide and grab it today. Welcome back to another special episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. And this is a special episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast because I am specifically speaking to my people out there who have a story inside of them. And even more specifically, you've been through some shit in your life. You've been through a lot of hell. You're out of it. And you're in a really good place in your life right now. And you want to start inspiring other people to live their version of their best life. And you want to help them by sharing your story. And by letting them know, listen, no matter what, you're not alone. I've walked a similar path. Because see, here's the thing about stories. I share a lot about my stories, right? I have my... if you've been here for a while, you know my key stories. I want to take you in behind the scenes of how I think about this, the stories that I share. I share my first generation immigrant story. I share my diagnosis with bipolar disorder. I share my relationship stories. I've shared my marriage, my divorce, my addiction, my recovery, just things that I'm working on. But if there's one thing that I consistently do, right, even if the stories that I'm sharing vary, it's always the consistency in which I share what is going on or what has gone on. And I've tied a lot of what I share to a story because our life is just a big movie, right? It just feels like a movie. And oftentimes when we're in the actor role of our lives, we feel like things are happening to us. But when you go through enough therapy and you practice, really connecting back to your body, and you have some pretty consistent habits, routines, rituals, vibes, as I like to call them, in your life, and you've come to a place where you're like, I feel really good about who I am and what I've been through and who I've become as a result of that. And I really want to help other people. I want to get on stage. I want to start talking to people. I want to start my own podcast. But I don't know where to even begin. Where do I even start? What stories do I share? What do I talk about? And that's what today's episode is about, because I want you to know what your superpower is. Your superpower is your shit. Your superpower is your life story, right? You don't need to be searching for content and topics to talk about because you have your own life that you can pull from. And you want to know what my superpower is? My superpower is the ability to draw it out of you and turn it into a beautiful masterpiece of stories, podcasts, content ideas, talking points, workshop presentations, blogs, social media posts, reels. It's your overarching message. It's like, what do you want to be known for? You don't have to look any further than your life stories. I want you to know that the magic is you, but the magic is also me, right? Us coming together, working together to bring out the absolute worst parts of your life and turning it into content gold. Here's the thing. No one cares about how great your life is. And I know that sounds harsh, but just hear me out, okay? If you're a service-based entrepreneur, coach, healer, speaker, current speaker, podcast host, executive, leader, manager, supervisor, aspiring author, if you are in the business of commanding attention from people and helping transform how people lead, work, operate, think, feel, do, create in their life, and you want to expand your audience reach, and you want to become a better speaker, better communicator, better storyteller, whatever it is that you desire, right? Whether it's getting your own book deal, getting interviewed on podcasts, speaking on stages, creating your own stage, What I want you to know is that whatever it is that you desire exists in your ability to share your story in a way that is real, raw, and transformative. And it takes perspective to be able to do that. And oftentimes when you've gone through hell and back, perspective gets blocked by our own shit. It's so easy to go through things in our life, get out of it, and then dismiss it like, oh yeah, it never happened. Or maybe you've gone through it, but you haven't really allowed yourself to feel the pain of what you've been through. And so even in sharing your story, it feels like something is missing as you're trying to talk about it. And often the thing that's missing is you, is your real emotion, is your raw emotion, is the vulnerability. It's not about being a victim. It's not about being a victor. It's about being vulnerable. My girlfriend and I, Nita, we were like going through a few of her stories for her upcoming book launch. That Sucked, Now What? That's the name of her book. And we both were just talking about that. Like, it's not about not being a victim. It's also not about, being this victor, this hero. What matters when you storytell is how vulnerable can you get? Can you really share with people how hard it was for you? Because I have made the mistake of packaging all my stories just to show the highlight reel. Like, look, it was bad. Okay, but now look at me. I'm fine now. Without really sharing the in-between work of what it took, to really get real with myself and vulnerable with myself. It's helped me to become a better storyteller, to start sharing the things that I bypassed. But in order for me to do that, I had to really sit with my own pain, right? You're not the actor in your life. You're the storyteller. You get to tell the story of your life. You get to assign the meaning to your story. And when you do that in a way that's actually powerful and empowering and real, like you're not just picking certain emotions, you're sharing the journey of it. That's when transformation occurs. It's not just for you, but for those around you listening. And that's why in the month of October, I'm opening up 5 VIP days with me. In this 5-hour VIP day, we'll have breaks included. You can do this in Austin. If you're listening to this and you're in Austin, we could do it in person or we could do it virtually. You and I will come together and we're going to map out the 6 main stories of your life that have shaped who you are today. I know that there are plenty of stories that you probably have, or maybe you're thinking, boss, I don't have anything that's ever happened in my life. Let me do my job. There is so much that you have been through and that you can pull from, okay? The clients that I work with have been through a lot of things in their life, okay? Like not just divorce, but not just divorce and not just the kind of the more common themes, but stuff that's just, they've locked away because they've gone through it and they've worked through it and they're like, okay, and they've locked it away. And I'm like, no, why aren't you sharing this story? There's such power in this story. But it often takes somebody else to really be able to see that. And there's no shame in that, And so when we map out these 6 main stories, from there we can start extracting the meaning, the themes, the vulnerable times, the period, the feeling, the overarching messages, the content pillars, and the topics that can be used for anything. It's not just about the strategy of, let me make a social media post. This is a healing process. This VIP day is healing because you're going to see yourself in a new light. We're reframing not just your inner narrative, but the narrative of your life. The biggest transformation is going to be the one that you feel and experience from within. Finding the gold in a pile of shit is quite frankly the most powerful experience you can go through, right? For you to be able to acknowledge what you've been through, feel it, and then sometimes relive it, so you can really start to and to get even deeper into the overarching beauty and the message of the story, and then turn that into a beautiful deliverable presentation, right? So it's healing. It's internal and it's external, right? When you can go through the pile of shit, and I'm not saying shit like, life is shitty, but like shitty things happen to us. They do. And I think sometimes, especially as coaches and people who are in the business of personal growth and development, it's very easy to be like, oh, but the lesson is, I learned a lesson. Yeah, but let's not forget to talk about how shitty it felt, People connect to that. Okay, when you do that, you not only transform yourself, your mindset, your belief systems, you also get closer to yourself and allow yourself to feel and not have any suppressed emotions inside of you. And this affects how you show up in every area of your life and how you approach your work, how you approach your creativity. You're no longer the person who hesitates to speak up or share your truth or reach out to potential collabs or confidently get on video. You know what I mean? You don't hesitate because you're now standing, as my mentor Lisa Nichols has always said, you're no longer standing in your story. You're standing on your story. Like when I talk about having bipolar disorder, being diagnosed and, issues with my relationships and things that, I openly talk about it, it's because I've come to terms with everything in my life that has happened. And I've shifted my perspective and I have felt it. I have felt every feeling associated with my most painful stories. And I've healed and worked through that. And oftentimes the healing has taken place because I've said it out loud to somebody else. And I realize, oh, it's just me that's been holding on to this shame. I don't need to keep holding on to this shame. And so if you want to claim one of these 5 transformative VIP day spots, I'm calling them Say It Out Loud Storytelling with Vasavi. All you need to do is click the link in the show notes or go back to the email where you read this. Or if you're just hearing this on the podcast, go to the link in the show notes or DM me on Instagram and say, Vasavi, I'm ready to book a VIP date with you. It's time for me to rewrite my narrative because I'm ready to start sharing with the world because I know I can help somebody. So if you're ready, all the information is, it's easy to just message me, link in show notes. This is going to be for the month of October. I have 5 dates open. October 3rd, 8th, 11th, 12th, 13th. And I will be blocking out 5 hours of that day to work with you. The investment is $5,000. And all I want to know is which 5 of you are going to claim your spot. Because if you've been seeing the things that I've been doing and putting out into the world, whether it's these episodes, my book coming out, my keynote talk, my comedy, my acting, it's because I rewrote my inner narrative. And I'm living a different story. I'm no longer living the story of the woman who stops and starts herself. I'm living the story of the woman who allows herself to fucking soar and is unapologetic about it. So is it time for you to rewrite your inner narrative so you can start living and telling a better story? I can't wait to work with you. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. If you love today's episode, then say it out loud. Subscribe, leave a review, and come say hi over on Instagram at My Name is Vasavi. Until next time, say it out loud.